Oakley Dokley. Little update. Uh, Found this little thing. Well, just a bearing holder, but just something fun to play with. And so here's the dealio. That's a print run, and I am indeed printing. But if you'll notice, there is no printer here. There is no USB cable there. Well, how is this working? Well, it is all the way over there. That was German and French. Okay. I'm printing via Bluetooth. Look at that sexy thing. There's a little blue Smurfy. Blue Smurfifying. Okay, so, oh, yeah. So look at this. Wow, those are not layers. Those are like a funny repeat. I wish, yeah. There, let's see. Come on. We're getting gosh darn close. Now here's the corner where it started and stopped. There's some starts and stops there. So I still got some retraction to dial in, some extruder. I mean, I got everything to dial in. But those are acceptable starting layers. I'll put it that way. Enough that I can definitely dial in from here. So not bad for like my third or fourth print on this new machine. So more updates. Okay, so the slant thing is fixed. I'm using Sprinter, which I still have to get back and fix Marlin so I get my screen and my Cooley wheel back. But what can you do? So I'm running Sprinter. It's fine. It's printing, and it's doing enough to allow me to start dialing in, to start calibrating and getting it really tuned in. Again, still printing cold. It's ABS too, so it's just the very, very, very much wrong way to do this. But nevertheless, it's printing well enough cold that I can, like I said, get things dialed in. I showed this before, but that's my new hotbed right there, 9 by 12. Plus whatever little, overhang. Glass will be a little bigger, obviously. So way stoked about that. I have an 1/8" collet for Arnold Schwarzenralter. So I was milling circuit boards. I got a Cooley, I got a vacuum table and everything for doing circuit boards. But I was doing it with a Dremel tool, and it just wasn't. The bearing was just slop. Just complete slop. So I got an 1/8" collet for a proper router, which is not quite a proper spindle, but nevertheless. So that should be here like Monday or Tuesday, which means I can get my hotbed done. Now, another cool thing is I'm running at 12 volts right now. These steppers, these are $9 steppers, right? $17 eBay drivers and $9 steppers. And there's like no specs on these. They're everywhere, but there's no specs. Here's the sticker if you're curious what it is. And that's the guy right there, 17.5 ohms. It's just, 17.5 ohms. So I just made up the difference with voltage, shoved 24 volts in there. And it would rip the nuts off a monkey, I'll tell you what. But it turns out I don't need the power. Maybe when I start dialing up the speed, I'm printing, say just a fairly kind of decent speed right now. Take a look if you want. Like I said, I'll see if it can keep up with the 12 volts when I'm really slamming that head or the heavy table with the hot and the glass and the whole bit. When I'm slamming that back and forth, we'll see if 12 volts gives me enough torque. I'm actually running about half. I'm running a half an amp on the drivers, allowing the motors to have a half an amp, and these are 3 amp drivers, so I can basically give the motors as much as they want to take. So the point is, I have one more bump up of oomph to put in at 12 volts. So which would be awesome. Which means I can run the whole thing off of power supply instead of either buying a 24 volt unit or I've been living off of my regular power supply, which is that's what I use. I do everything with that, so I can't have that dedicated over here. So yeah. I got a 3D printer, man, and it's no longer trying to make 60 pounds of steel go. Blah, 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 blah. So this is now only a mill. No more printing over here, which is super awesome, cool. And instead, we're rock and rolling here. So at any rate, there's your quickie little update. He's in his little home. I notched my little robot test deck, so the table, when it is full size, has some room to come out, and I have some room to stand. And I actually have a light too, but I have nowhere to plug it in. I gotta get a little power strip down here. So yeah, all in all, I'm happy. Not to mention, I'm printing wirelessly right now. I mean, I'm printing via Bluetooth wirelessly. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, it's like in there. That's so cool. Oh, and I gotta weld. That's on a nail right now. I gotta weld a proper. Oh, and we just homed. I think we're done. God, it's so quick. I tell you, these belts compared to doing it with these giant heavy head and these screws, this you cannot print on a CNC. I don't care who you are. I mean, you can't. Yeah. What are we up to? 7 minutes? That's probably about enough rambling. All right, there you go. Ting! Oh, hey, if you're watching this, the RepRap forum, I'll see if I can get some pictures uploaded too. Okay, that's enough. Ting!